Okay, let's talk about chapter 3, Water and Life today. Before we start about our next chapter, let's know a little bit about Valencia Pre-Med Club. This is a club that is giving you all the information about all the research opportunities and practice interviews and what internship opportunities are available for students in Orlando, or if you're interested in medical field and that's your future. What how you should prepare yourself and what you should know, and always remember you have to start with the end in mind. So if that is your goal, then how you should train yourself and how you can get ready for future, that is going to be all covered through this club. It's a very good club. I would like you guys to go try it out and see if it fits your schedule, and I encourage you all to join this club. All the contact information is given here. Coming to our chapter 3, water. Water is the molecule made of hydrogen and two oxygen atoms, and it exists in three states. It occupies 70% of Earth's surface. In a cell, there is 70 to 95% of water and many other properties. These are general properties that we know. So how come water is so essential for life? Without life, we can't imagine. Without water, we can't imagine life, right? So scientists have given the credit of all these awesome properties of water to its structure. They say that the structure of water is the reason why all these characteristics of life are possible, when only life can only originate in water. It's because of its polarity and its ability to form hydrogen bonds, and its shape, which is V shape, so on and so forth. Coming to the bonds again, let's revisit polar covalent bonds and hydrogen bonds. Remember, in a single water molecule, oxygen atom is bonded to the hydrogen atom by sharing a pair of electrons, and this pair of electrons are shared unequally. So this is called polar covalent bond. So in a single water molecule, there are two polar covalent bonds. In a single water molecule, there are no hydrogen bonds. Remember, these are polar, means in a water molecule, oxygen side, in single water molecule, oxygen side has little negative charge and hydrogen has little positive charge, and that little charge is represented by delta symbol, that is a circle with a tail. And between water molecules there are hydrogen bonds. One water molecule is attracted to four other water molecules, and this hydrogen bond is represented by dots. Hydrogen bond is a weak bond. It is not stable. It continuously breaks and reforms at room temperature. At 0 degrees it does not. So try to remember these facts and read the questions carefully. There are some other random pieces of information that you need as we go further in this chapter, such as what is potential energy, what is kinetic energy, what is heat, and what is temperature, what is the difference between heat and temperature. So make sure that you read these and make notes of. You definitely need the understanding of these concepts, as well as what is the difference between calorie and Celsius scale. Heat is measured in calories, whereas temperature is measured in Celsius in sciences. In day-to-day life in United States of America, we use Fahrenheit, whereas Fahrenheit is not used in sciences. So remember Celsius. Um, Surface tension. What is surface tension? You might have seen always water, the top layer, it looks like a glossy film, right? And it is because of the hydrogen bonds between all the water molecules on the top layer, as well as hydrogen bonds between the water molecules on the top with the water molecules um, under the top layer. So when lightest object such as dry leaf or spider is walking on the surface of water, it is because of these hydrogen bonds, it is not sinking in. So this measure of how hard the surface of liquid is to break, it is called surface tension. And surface tension is the same thing when you are pouring a solution in a glass jar. It forms a curve, a concave shape. That is again because of surface tension. Okay. There are four properties of water that you need to definitely know each one of them and know all four of them. Um, and They are the four properties of water are cohesive behavior, ability to moderate temperature, expansion upon freezing, versatility as a solvent. If you remember from your high school that water is universal solvent, it's not true. If you technically look at it, it is not true that water is a universal solvent. Coming to the first property, cohesive behavior. What is cohesion? Cohesion means attraction, right? Mm, and cohesion is that means attraction between water molecules, whereas adhesion is attraction between water and other molecules of plants. These properties both together, they help in movement of water from the tip of the root, which is deep under the soil, to the tip of the plant in the air high above the ground. Whether it is 100 meters tall or just 10 millimeters, whatever it is, a plant has to supply water from its roots towards the aerial part high above in the air. And this happens not because there is some kind of pumping action going on. Absolutely, there is no pumping organ in plants. What they have is cohesion and adhesion, which is a natural property of water. When water molecules are evaporating continuously from the aerial parts of plant, that becomes a pulling force, and thirsty plants, they absorb water molecules, and water molecules, they have hydrogen bonds between them, and water molecules being polar, they're attracted to the other polar molecules of the cells of plants, and so they are driven into the plant, and also they go high and high. Remember, just like you and I have arteries and veins, plants have water conducting cells in their roots, branches, stems, and leaves. You might have seen those. If you look at the leaf closely, you will find them. So first property of water is cohesive behavior. That means attraction between water molecules, which is due to hydrogen bond. Remember, and the hydrogen bond is due to the polarity of water molecule, and the polarity is due to the polar covalent bond, right? And this property of water makes the plants survive, and when plants survive, they are making food and oxygen for all the other organisms, and because of this, we all are able to survive on planet earth. So this is a very important property of water which makes life possible on planet earth. Second property of water, moderation of temperature by water. Water absorbs a lot of heat during daytime when the sun is shining on earth, and it releases this heat during nighttime when the Earth's temperature is low. So uh, this property of water able to absorb heat and release heat is again because of hydrogen bonds. How is it due to hydrogen bonds? We'll see that in following slides, but for now let's look at a property called specific heat. What is specific heat? Remember, specific heat is ability of a substance to resist change in temperature. And water has highest specific heat. Water resists change in its temperature, and it is due to hydrogen bonding. So if you compare water with oil, if you take water in a beaker and another beaker, you take oil equal amount and you place thermometers in them and provide heat for the same amount of time and with the same amount of flame for exact amount of time, and you see the thermometers, notice the thermometers, you can see that water does not increase its temperature as high as oil. So that is why we say that water has high specific heat. It resists change in temperature. And many of you have gone to beach, otherwise I suggest you to go this time and observe what happens when you're walking 2 miles away from beach and close towards beach. You feel cooler and cooler, though the temperature away from beach is really hot or warm. When you walk very close to beach, you feel nice and cool, right? Cold, the weather, it is nice and cold, it is so comfortable, and this is because of specific heat. So how is it because of specific heat? Remember, water molecules, in between them they have hydrogen bond. So heat is absorbed when hydrogen bonds break, and these hydrogen bonds, as soon as they break, they instantly form. So heat is released when hydrogen bonds form. So this process is happening continuously, and because of that, all that heat coming from sun is being absorbed by water bodies, and because of this absorption of heat by water bodies, temperature of planet Earth is kept under control. This is the reason why life is possible on planet Earth. Otherwise, life wouldn't have been possible. So water has high specific heat. Water occupying 70% of Earth's surface is keeping the temperature of planet Earth in a range where life is possible. Otherwise, all that heat coming from sun would have been so harmful to life that we would have all been extinct by now because of that high temperature. Thanks to so much water on planet Earth, we are able to survive. Water is keeping the planet Earth's temperature in control or at a range where it is livable.